We're up to page 221. Page 221. Okay. The fifth enticement. Claim your reward. Okay, we're talking about all kind of things that basically Yetzirah tries to mess up our avodas Hashem, and with different types of loy l'shmas, really. Covet, opposite of covet, running away from covet. What else did we have? Distracting you. So here we have something called claim your reward. Didn't work. So he works on something that's more subtle. And that's what the concept Miller throws in here. You won't even be aware that you're doing a mitzvah for the wrong purpose. So it's somewhat subtle. With the concept of reward and punishment in this world and the next, the Torah is going to say to you, it's coming to you. You deserve schar in this world and the next. It's such to start he says from Miller, right? And so you're from the Chassidei Yisparach, and someone like you deserves to be rewarded in this world and the next. Says from Miller, you wouldn't go out and say this publicly, but in your conscience or subconscious, when you may be thinking, I really deserve schar, because I'm really doing it. So therefore you should try and as best as you can, with the expectation of getting that reward through your additional efforts. Work a little harder so you should get it. Through your commitment to the service of Hashem, enjoy and great happiness. Therefore, it's going to persuade you that you're now going to receive that reward, and now you're looking for opportunities to get that reward. Put it in front of your eyes. Becomes like a goal, I guess. And make any effort to achieve. You forget. I guess you sort of lose focus of why you're serving Hashem. The Tzara sort of tricks you. He praises you, says how great you are, and you deserve it. And then he sort of injects that, and you start doing it for the Gmul. Make every effort to achieve it. For it's your ultimate goal of happiness and joy. Or Simcha. And the David Melch says that's the goal. Simcha. Now I'm assuming you don't have to touch that up as reward. The David Melch was saying that that's a certain mitzvah, a certain state of mind. Person who serves Hashem is Or Zerua Latzadik. L'Yisrael Simcha. That's the way I always understand. In Tishrei Lavis, this way Chalvar, if you listen to Yetzirah and rely on his words, Yapilcha b'mine hashituf hanistar, cause you to fall into a form shituf, sharing your devotion among two or more powers. Because in addition to serving Hashem, v'hu shesamta ne'vodecha v'nafshecha, you make yourself an object of your own worship. By putting the primary force of your efforts into that which will extend to you comfort and pleasure. Will enable you to avoid worry and grief. You start serving Hashem for yourself, so you can get rewards. So you should be happy. So the haLevavos is calling that shituf. serving yourself. I mean, l'chora, you're not making yourself in any way to a god or to a power or anything like that. You're not saying you have power, you're just saying, but I guess that's also shit. If you're serving, you're not only serving Hashem. If you serve Hashem, if you do Torah and mitzvahs in order that it should be good for you, it's schar.
In other words, right now, if you damage somebody,
Then he's calling it shituf. That's scary.
The Mesil Yesharim talks about that. He says that it's not the highest level, but it's if you use that as a motivation, it's not treif.
Okay, but here it sounds like it is treif, right?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're motivated by the hope of reward. Your sense of pure duty to Hashem is correspondingly.
No, she doesn't say that. Mesil Yesharim says that I'm motivated that I want to go to heaven, not to hell. I want the reward that's destined for me. That's what motivates me. It's motivating me. That not beyond that. Could that make a difference?
Right. The Matzah, if I remember correctly, that's like the Hamoin Am serve Hashem because of that, right?
But, well, you're not a chassid, right? But it's not a bad motivation.
Right.
And the Jews always say the Mesil Yesharim starts out at the beginning that the Sodi Yesodis is to realize that. So it can't be so bad because that's how he starts the book.
That's for the reward. Yeah, but you're not supposed to be doing it because of it, right?
Yeah.
All right, look, here Mill is using the words, because you're motivated by the hope of reward, your sense of pure duty to Hashem is correspondingly reduced. Okay, you're not doing mitzvahs for him, but to get your reward. That's okay. But the words that the haLevavos used was
that's pretty strong words, though. Right?
Not for your hope of getting this reward. How you say
doesn't say either, that's for sure.
No, for sure not. You would fail to show gratitude for Hashem's constant kindness towards you. And you wouldn't obligate yourself to serve him because of them. Because of the kindness, right? Because the haLevavos says that the foundation of serving Hashem is hakoras hatoif, right? So, but I wouldn't do it for that. I'm doing it only because I want reward. So this is very subtle because we started off talking about someone who's a chassid havoira umiskula soy, right? And the haLevavos is to say that the Torah creeps in there. Finds a place. The Torah finds a place like mamish, flip it, take your avodas Hashem, and turn it into something very whatever, you do get justice around reward. You wouldn't do it. You lose track. You lose focus. To the extent that after a while you come to a place where if I wouldn't be thinking I'm paying reward, I wouldn't do it. That's the haLevavos. You will not see that serving Hashem is an inherent right. How do you read that? You would not see that serving Hashem is inherently right. It's not for the reward you're expecting. You would not devoutly serve Hashem on account of his greatness, for and his power, and his wisdom. Was there Omer of Saint Zechron of Rocha to Kavodim Misham Shalarav Manas the Kavod Pras? You havu Kavodim Misham Shalarav Shaloi Manas the Kavod Pras. Of course, we know there's a reward, but we don't do it because of that. Our motivation, because Hashem has done so much for us that we can never pay him back. In addition to the fact that he deserves that we should always serve him, fear him, and be aware of him because of his greatness. You don't have a necessity to serve Hashem merely because he has done everything for you. He gave you life. He gave you the ability to use your senses. He gave you the ability to exist with food and everything else. We owe Hashem so much gratitude for all that he thinks he's done for us and is doing for us. That's enough of a reason to serve him. We have to praise Hashem, honor him, and serve him just because he's so great and powerful and wise and kindly, even if he didn't do anything for us. If in addition to the main reasons we have the motivation of what he did for us, created us and gave us all of our abilities, all our faculties, all our needs, and surely we have to serve him for that. So why should we even think about doing it for the ulterior motives of getting greed and applause from reward and applause from people? All right. So he says this approach to the Torah is effective because you would like to believe you're a big tzaddik and therefore worthy of the reward you're counting on. I've conquered the Torah on so many fronts. Now I deserve to be famous. I don't think this is far-fetched. It's absolutely true of everybody. Only some people resist it. They realize it's the Torah speaking. That was a Rishon Salanta, I think, that said on his deathbed that the Yetzer Hara is still talking to him, saying, die in a way that people say, what a big tzaddik you are. I think there's such a nice. So we're all susceptible to this flattery that we're tzaddikim and we deserve covered and we want the covered. So he's saying, and that's what's the point there? And that's your stumbling block. Once you fall into that trap of thinking of yourself that way, then you're saying, so I deserve reward. And then you fall into the trap of serving Hashem for the reward. However, many people swallow the flattery, it becomes a poison for them. Therefore, needs education and training. When people are prepared for this experience of the Yetzer Hara coming with this sales pitch by learning a sefer Chovos haLevavos, you know that the Yetzer Hara is actually the one that's approaching them with these flattering gestures and remarks.
Pay for the references.
If a person, people tell him he's a tzaddik and asking for a bracha, he may begin to persuade himself it's true, and he'll come to bask in the warmth of their approval. In this way, he becomes a worshiper of himself, and that may even become his main purpose in life. Important to know this is not only something that affects big tzaddikim. In one way or another, every human being gets tested by the same Yetzer Hara. Everyone thinks he's a very good person. Unless he spent time studying Midas, he fails to recognize the fault in his own character that are extremely difficult to diagnose. Unless he has studied test cases in the laboratory of his mind, he refuses to believe that he is the subject of test like anybody else. Ordinary men and women tend to have a very good opinion of themselves. A little bit of a defense mechanism. Person has to feel good about it.
Basically, I corrected you.
Last Friday night, we made a shalom zach in my house, and thank you. The bris was today. Thank you.
Who was that?
Rivka.
Oh, very nice, Muslim.
Yeah. So someone came here, someone very close to Rabban Sekal, and he said, heard this in other people's names also, that if a person would be stripped of all of his covenant totally, he couldn't exist. He couldn't exist. A person has to have a little bit. He couldn't exist without even a little bit of it. So it's like a defense. A person has to feel good about it. He has to feel he's good. A healthy person feels he's good, but also sees his faults and knows where he has to work on himself, and he knows he has so much more to do. And, as much as he done. But you could fall into the trap. We say even ordinary people have very good opinions of themselves. And if I'm good, so I deserve reward. I deserve reward. So I can end up serving Hashem for the reward. And therefore he says, if you don't learn the Muslims farm and aware of these challenges and tests, it's very easy to fall into it. They deserve all the good things of life as a result of their virtues. It's a normal reaction and pervades everyone's mind. So again, the Gesher Tzarmoid, on one hand, you have to walking around feeling like you're a mensch. You have to know if you accomplished, the whole Mishra Beinu, he knew what he accomplished. He didn't walk around saying he didn't accomplish anything in life. He was the greatest person who ever walked the face of the earth, you know what I mean? But on the other hand, he knew true greatness, he was close to Hashem. He saw what greatness really is. A healthy balance, right? He didn't work on saying, I deserve this. How much more could I do? How much more there is to go? On one hand, you got to have that good feeling and know you're accomplishing and know you're doing what you could. That you shouldn't walk around with that, and it shouldn't become so. Now it's good there. Once you've learned, clearly seen how the Yetzer works against you. I mean, I think we all have experienced this. We're in somewhere in a situation. Why aren't they calling me up? Why aren't they asking me? Why shouldn't I be there? Why are they asking that person and not asking me for the? I mean, everyone has a place where they feel, I should be, I'm special, I'm good. And then the Yetzer has you, because what's the answer? Then now you deserve reward, he says. You deserve reward, so you serve Hashem for the reward. It can make an unexpected appearance at any time. Learn to be on your guard. Don't let yourself be overcome by numbers of opponents, by the loudness of their claims. Now that you found the right way, remember that whatever people say from now on may just be an attempt to weaken you with noise and propaganda. Suppose you have studied and learned how to refute all the deceptive arguments of the Yetzer. So the Yetzer says, for this fellow, I have to use different tactics. How will I be able to penetrate into this tzaddik's inner mind and start ruining his life? Be on guard, because the Yetzer is sure to come up with something insidious. Let's say a man gets a newspaper that keeps him informed about world events. Let's say he needs the financial news, so someone in his family takes out a subscription. On the surface, everything looks fine, but every day there are news stories which make assumptions based on the background of the journalists. They assume various guesses and opinions are true without feeling the need to prove them. All right, so he says, after a while, you start believing, they start saying Chovos in biology, and before you realize it, you're starting to accept these theories. It's like the case of the man from Brooklyn, the Ben Torah, who moved to Los Angeles and got a job in a Kohen yeshiva. He ruined himself. Why? Because of the Yetzer. So when you consider moving to another city or another neighborhood, think about the Yetzer that's quietly encouraging you. The move might be a good idea because you need a job. You need to make a living. But think again, ask yourself, what's going to happen to your family? What's going to happen to you? Remember, the Yetzer is working full-time and doing everything possible, even to good people. Okay, this is a little bit of a tangent, right? But the idea being that the Yetzer finds each person's weakness where he's holding. Right? So in this last thing that we learned, the fifth thing of Schar and Einish, he finds that weakness that you feel very good about yourself. You feel that you are an Eved Hashem. You feel you're serving Hashem. And therefore he sneaks in there and you deserve reward. And it's true you deserve reward. Right? Like he said, yes, we do get reward. Like the Rosh Hashiva said, right? First practice here, shown here, it's all a setup so we can have the ultimate pleasure. But the step that's slippery is that you're not supposed to do it before that. You're supposed to do it because out of gratitude, out of appreciation and greatness of Hashem. And who's the mitzvah? And it doesn't matter if you get reward or not. You have to do what you have to do and what's right. And that's where the Yetzer sneaks in. Okay, next time. Fix the type, man. All right, you should have a safe trip back.